Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. This is DoSo Knits. I am Kristen, the knitter behind DoSo Knits, where I share with you guys how knitting has interwoven into my life. I am a knitter and military spouse living in Denver, Colorado with my family, which consists of my husband Shane, our dog Sherlock, and our cat Ebony. Today's video is episode 36 of the podcast, and I do feel like I have a good amount of things to show you guys. Work recently has been a bit bananas. I just have a couple deadlines that I'm working up to, so just a lot of moving parts going on, and once those deadlines pass, I think I'll have a little more creative content to show. But that does not mean I don't have things to show you guys. I have a couple of works in progress and a couple finished objects to share today. Before we dive in to the knitting, though, I'd like to remind you that you can find me on all the social media platforms as DoSo Knits, here on Instagram, YouTube, and Ravelry. And then all of the show notes are linked down in the description box below. I link to both patterns if they are available off of Ravelry, and I link to my project pages, which will give you my project page, the patterns, the yarns I used, and any notes I take. Those are all there. It is pretty early this morning, so I'm still drinking my second cup of coffee from my summer sock camp mug, because it is full summer sock camp. Sherlock is sitting on this love seat right over there, and Ebony is on her cat tower trying to climb out the window. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there is any other admin at the beginning. The only other admin that I have is the spring DoSo make-along is done. That was a make-along that I hosted on Instagram, where you could post photos of you taking your crafting outside using the hashtag DoSoSpring22MAL, and that is what entered you for prizes at the end. I have both a prize package from Allie Pate sock yarn. I have a couple of skeins from her to give away, and also I have another prize donation from a viewer who had some yarn in her stash that she was no longer using, so it's enough to make a specific pattern and some free yarn. So I will be contacting our winners via Instagram. What I will do is I will comment on your post saying that you have randomly won. I'm just going to use a random generator to pull the number of winners I need from that hashtag. So I will be commenting on your post, and I will send you a direct message on Instagram to get the information from you as well. And yeah, also, I pulled a winner in the last podcast episode, so make sure to go check that out because I have not heard from the winner yet. If I don't hear by the winner by the next time I'm recording my next podcast episode, I will be pulling a new winner for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So make sure to check that out. There are timestamps in all my videos, so if you need to just like skip ahead, it is there. So just check it out. Okay. Let's get into the finished objects. So you may be able to tell I have one finished object. I am wearing it. This is my Meriwether Wrap top. It is from the newest issue of Making magazine, issue number 13, Outside. As soon as I saw this issue, I knew I wanted to make this top. It is a crocheted garment that you knit 3 pieces of together, and then it makes this wrap top. I do have some B-roll to show you, so hopefully you can see it. It does have these 2 front pieces that are identical. They do this, you decrease to get this shape. You crochet it up and down, so it's kind of on the side, but it makes this nice ribbed texture. And then at the bottom, we have a little tighter of a band, and then your straps that you tie together to hold it into place. So there is a hole over here you can see to get your second strap through. So overall, I am so in love with this. I was really worried at first that it wasn't going to fit well into my wardrobe, that I wasn't going to like it. This is the worry after I started working on it. When I first saw it in the magazine, I knew I wanted to make it. Like, I've really been loving wrap dresses and wrap tops, anything with a tie really, I've been really loving. So I saw this and knew I wanted to make it. I was worried. I knew there was one specific dress that I would pair it with, which is what I took photos in yesterday at the Botanic Gardens. It's just like a swing dress. So when I wear this with it, it just looks like the dress is a really cute skirt. Although the dress comes up to here, so you can kind of tell it's a dress, but I really like it. But I wasn't sure what else I would pair it with. And then when I was filming the B-roll to show you guys kind of how it looks, I poured it with these shorts, and the height of the garment I think hits really well, that as long as I wear like high-waisted shorts or something, which is what these are, it still looks uber cute. So I'm super excited with how it turns out. I think there's a good amount of ease. It's tight enough, but also has some drape, and I really like it. So it is crocheted. I used a 3.5mm Furls crochet hook, which was an absolute game changer. It's just slightly more ergonomic, so it makes it a lot easier to crochet. And then I used a linen yarn from BC Garn called Lino. It's 100% linen. This color is khaki. Now I did have some tales of woe while working on this project. I initially made the back piece and everything was great, and then when I first made the first front piece, I didn't double check my gauge and I made the first front piece like 2 inches too long. So I had to rip it out and remake it, and that was fine. I just had to put it in timeout for just a smidgen because I was angry and didn't want to look at it. Yeah, that's really the only tale of woe. The only other thing I've had to do is on the front piece that's on the side down here. What you do is you crochet and you stop when because there's the bottom band, and then you stop crocheting your diagonal when you get to about here. However, your strap is slightly lower than the bottom band, so I was having like this top piece fall over. So what I did is I just continued, so if this is my band and then this was my diagonal, I just continued the diagonal down into the band so that it was like one continuous thing all the way down instead of it being like this weird like stair step. And I think that helped. I do still kind of have this piece over here kind of flop over. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to crochet just like a little like loop, kind of like, think like a belt loop on a pair of pants where the other strap will come through. I'm going to put a little belt loop essentially to throw that band through to hopefully prevent it from falling over. So yeah, that's the only other thing I need to do. That'll take like 2 seconds. But yeah, I'm really in love with it. I think it's super cute. I made the 48-inch bust, and there's multiple sizes bigger than that. So I do highly recommend this project. The ribbing texture makes it super stretchy and easy to wear. It's so lovely in this linen yarn. The linen is a little difficult to work with, which is why I recommend making sure you have kind of like a sharper crochet hook head that you can get into your stitches really easily, because it is quite small if you are using a linen yarn like this and it doesn't have much give. So just having a little bit of something to shove into those stitches was very helpful. My first crochet hook was kind of dull, whereas the Furls was a lot pointier and harder. So it was harder, so I could just shove it in easier. We are talking about crochet. But other than that, I love it so much. I think you could do this with so many different yarns and it would look so lovely, and the fit is honestly incredible. Oh, I did have one other woe. So what you do to seam it up is you seam the shoulder seams with just like slip stitch crochet stitches. So good. It's just so fast. I love it. Highly recommend. And then you seam the side seams with the same thing. When I first seamed it, my back I had like a lot of gaping here. So I think part of that might have been I didn't block it to measurements, which is what it told me to do, because I forgot to take photos of that page to know what to block it to. So what I did is I had to kind of stretch out the front piece to kind of cinch in the back piece when I was seaming it a bit. So I just did the seaming, ripped it out, and then redid the shoulder seams and making sure the front pieces went, because they like at first ended here, and so there was a lot of extra fabric, so I just made sure that they seamed in a little bit farther to fit my neck. But yeah, this is my Meriwether Wrap top. I really love it. I think it looks so good, and I'm excited to wear it with so many different outfits. I think with dresses and shorts and skirts, it's just going to be such a good, easy throw on top. Also could definitely wear it as like a pool cover up. That is that. The next finished object I have is my first pair of socks for summer sock camp. So these are what I did. So these I just did as a toe up vanilla sock. I did the Turkish cast on for the toe, knit the foot to fit my foot. I did a German short row heel with no mini heel flap adjustment. And then this is 30 rounds of leg and 5 rounds of 2x2 cuff. I did these with my 9-inch circular needles, so a US 0 2mm. The color is Fancy Schmancy. It is Nerdstring yarn, and this is an exclusive color for the shop I work at, Fancy Tiger Crafts here in Denver. So I knit these as a shop sample to kind of show off this yarn, because in the skein you have these big sections of like mint and green and like big sections of this peach. And I feel like it's very hard to see what it looks like. And so having a pair knit up, I think will help. Also, we love Ryan's yarn. So it was such a delight to work with, and I'm excited to have these done. I need to take a photo of these before taking them to work today, so I can post it for summer sock camp and make sure I have a photo for the Yarniest Sock Bingo. I'm very excited. I think these look great. It was just a very basic vanilla sock. Not much else to say. Simple vanilla sock. Limited edition yarn. That's what I got. Done. First pair of summer sock camp socks. Done. I gotta enter them in. With both of those are all of the finished objects I have this week, but we can move into more summer sock camp knitting with some of my works in progress. So you saw these last time, and I've made a little bit of progress. I took these when we went to see Lightyear in the theaters, which was so good, and I thought this color just kind of matches Lightyear kind of good, so I thought that was fun. But this is a pair of a sock set from Bumblebee Acres and Summer Sock Camp from Kaya the Crazy Sock Lady. This is her Campfires and Fireflies colorway on the Coquette sock base. So it's 75% superwash Corriedale and 25% nylon. And this is how my sock is looking. So I don't know, the blue and the neon just kind of reminded me of Buzz Lightyear. So I thought it was fun to work on that in the movie. I am almost at my toe. I am about 40 rounds into the foot, and I think I do about 50 to 60 rounds. I think it's 60 with the... I don't remember. I think it's 50 with the German short row heel and 60 with a heel flapping gusset. I'll have to remeasure and recount. But I did a 2x2 cuff for 15 rounds here. And then I did 50 rounds for the leg. I did this is a German short row heel with the mini heel flap. So then I can decrease my stitches out. And here is my foot so far. I have my summer sock camp marker here. This is where I was last time as well. I think. I might have also moved it for the movie, so maybe that was when I was in the movie. Unsure. But that's my sock. This is what it looks like caked up. Yeah. This one's just been kind of on the back burner because I wanted to finish my fancy schmancy socks. And also it is the 28th of the month, and we have not seen 2 Desert Vista Dyeworks socks yet. But you will right now. So those just got put on the back burner to work on some other socks, since those don't have as much of a deadline as these socks that I'm about to show you. So these are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for June. I've opted to do 1 pair of socks this month. I am doing my 3-inch leg, which is close to what this is. I love the 3-inch leg. It's just a nice in between, not too tall, but good for transition seasons. I don't know. I like it because you can show a little bit of your sock. And yeah, I am using Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn. It's on her Vista base. The color is Egyptian papyrus. So this is my first sock. I should also say I am doing the crunkled sock pattern by Kay of the Bakery Bears. Molly from A Homespun House has been talking about this pattern recently in some of her blogs, and I don't know. I just really needed a non-vanilla sock. Which I know kind of puts me more in a time crunch for my socks that I have to finish by the end of the month, but sometimes you just need a little pattern to keep you motivated, and that's what I needed. So I have finished the first sock since I last showed you, but here it is. So this is the color Egyptian Papyrus, inspired by a photo that I submitted for the monthly new colorway challenge. I did 2 colors for the cuff and 2x2 rib, and then I began the crunkled sock pattern. I did about a 3-inch cuff. I transitioned to the heel when this yellow came up again, and this is a German short row heel with the mini heel flap. I think socks looks funny when they're not on blockers because I feel like this heel kind of looks like it's extra flub, but when you block it out, also with the crunkle kind of ribbing it in, and look, it's kind of like a ribbing and kind of brings it in, it really makes this just look like really extra. And then I just began the crunkled pattern on just the top and the vanilla on the bottom. And then she does have a new toe to me in the pattern, and I did not do it. I did my wedge toe, which I love the wedge toe. Sorry, round toe. It's the round toe. But yeah, that is the first sock. I really love these colors, and I really love the crunkled pattern. It's just so good. I did have a little oopsie here where I actually did an extra knit row, so my crunkle is slightly uncrunkled, but it's fine. So, first sock is done, and then I have a schedule to finish by the end of the month, so today I have to do the heel and part of the leg, and I have started the second one. So this is 1 stripe short of starting the heel, so I will be able to do that today and do the heel. I am doing these magic loop. That was also another thing, is I just really wanted to do magic loop instead of 9-inch circulars. I find patterns like this that use a lot more pearls. So stockinette, I really feel comfortable with doing my 9-inch circulars. However, with patterns like this, where you are doing a lot more purling, because there's essentially some ribbed elements to get the crunkle happening, I like to use magic loop because of the extra needle. I am using US 1 2.25 millimeters because I have to go down from my 9 inches, and when I've done magic loop on 2 millimeters, which is what I do my 9-inch circulars on, they're just really tight. So I'm doing my 2.25 millimeter for these on magic loop. These are my crunkled socks. These are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for June. I did not explain what does Vista Dyeworks socks mean, technically. So Desert Vista Dyeworks, which is the yarn I am using, does a year-long knit-along where you knit something every month with a skein of her yarn. Typically, I knit socks. You can also knit like a hat or some mittens or things like that. She has a whole list of rules. But every month that you complete, every quarter you get entered in for prizes. So for 3 months you get a coupon, 6 months you get a skein of yarn, 9 months you get a coupon, and at a year you get an exclusive colorway. You do have to begin in January. However, she does also do a thread on Ravelry every month where you can enter in if you do anything with any of her yarns. But for that, she just picks one random winner every month. But yeah, she does dye everything to order, so the turnaround is about 6 to 8 weeks. So if the Desert Vista Dyeworks Sock Knit Along Challenge is something you are interested in, I highly suggest getting some yarn now so you have it to begin in January. That'd be very early. But you also, every month, she does inspired challenges. So this year's theme is ologies. So the Egyptian papyrus came from like the archaeology challenge, I believe, and I submitted an inspiration photo of an Egyptian papyrus, and then she liked that inspiration photo and dyed yarn to it. This past month was mineralogy, so lots of different gemstones and things were submitted as inspiration for colorways, and 5 get chosen every month. And if your inspiration photo gets chosen, she will send that yarn to you for free. So you can still participate in that challenge if you want to get some inspiration yarn just to see. All of it's on Ravelry. Or you could knit some of her yarn now and enter it into the just monthly thread that she has, but not the year-long make-along. These are done. Almost done. Half finished. I really love these colors. They're so fun. But yeah, these socks, which are in my little drawstring bag that I made, which has moths and strawberries on it, are my focus because today is the 28th and these had to be done by the 30th. Why do I do this to myself every month? Who knows? I caked this yarn up like on the 3rd and just had other commitments. I had to do this and I had to do this sample. So, you know, life is fine. I do have another sock to show you guys. So both of the next projects I had to cast on because of classes that I am teaching. So this yarn is from my DK vanilla sock class that I'm teaching. This yarn is from Happy Mermaid Yarn Co. It is her Platinum DK. So 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is a 4-ply. The colorway is bubblegum. I will show you this. I fell in love with this color. I don't necessarily think it looks like bubblegum. I think it looks like a really gorgeous green with orange and gray and pink speckles. But I bought it because I fell in love with the color. This is from Crazy Sock Lady Co.'s shop. And this is where I'm at with this sock. So I am just doing Kay Litton's Crazy Sock Lady's vanilla weight DK sock pattern. Exactly. So I did 10 rounds of cuff in 2x2 rib, 30 rounds of leg, and I have done the slip stitch heel flap, which just looks so good. So I am now on the foot. I am working on my gusset decreases, and I have to finish the foot today so that I can teach how to do the toe tomorrow night. DK socks are pretty quick, so along with my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks that I have to focus on, this is also a pretty heavy focus for the next 2 days, specifically today. I think the class has been going really well. I love showing people how to knit socks. So, yeah, I am doing these on Magic Loop. So this is a US 3 3.25 millimeter needle. I debated on doing 9-inch circulars or magic loop, but most of the students in the class, all of the students in the class opted to do magic loop as their method, so I'm also doing magic loop. So yeah, that is that sock. It's going really well. I love a DK sock because they are super quick, and I love this colorway. I think it looks so good. If you haven't noticed, I have kind of a green theme going on. These are a heavy focus today specifically. It is living in my Joint in the Stitches owl bag. I love it. It's one of my favorite bags. Yeah. Okay. I only have one more work in progress. And so this is my Inclinations Cowl by Andrea Mowry. I am also doing this as a class. I showed you guys the yarns last time, but I will show them again. So this is a, ooh, we are twisted. This is a DK weight from Knit Crate. It is Audine Wool's flannel. This is a Surrey alpaca blend. Sherlock is stretching. This is the label. So it's 47% Surrey alpaca, 38% alpaca wool, 15% non-superwash merino. It is a DK weight. I love it so much. It is so soft. And then the other yarn I'm using is Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. And the colorway is Dead Reckoning. And this is what it looks like. I did have more purple, but now I've kind of transitioned to this non-purpley part. So those are my yarns together. So some areas will have more blended when it's this purple and more contrast when it's the blue. This is where I'm at so far. I'm using the needle size recommended in the pattern. So it is a US 2.75 millimeter. And this is where I'm at. So it is half fisherman's rib, so it's this really nice and like really squishy texture. I think I like it because it's not too stripy. It's kind of blendy and kind of changes as we go. Spin Cycle you can't see changing too much, but I really like it so far. I think it'll, as I move into this non-purple section, it will really show the transition because everything so far has really had purple. The beginning had mostly blue, and then this part had more purple in it, but yeah, it's really soft and nice. So I'm just working on the increases. So yeah, it's pretty easy to memorize at this point. You increase every other round or so, and then you have an I-cord on this edge because we'll seam up the other edge. Yeah, I like it so far. Just imagine this, but bigger. I think it'll be really nice. I think I will only need one DK skein and then 2 of these Spin Cycle Sport Weight skeins because these are 50 grams. Yeah, so after you finish increasing, it becomes like more rectangly, and then that's what you'll kind of seam up the back. So I have quite a bit of knitting still to do on this. I don't know what else to say. The half fisherman's rib is really easy once you kind of get going. The cast on is pretty fiddly. It just takes a bit to get that first row of like half fisherman's rib can be like kind of brain bending, and then you're also like switching yarns and you only have 5 stitches. But once you get past that beginning cast on, I think it's a lot easier. It's pretty easy to read your knitting because it is just this like, it's essentially, it looks like knit, purl, knit, purl. It looks like a ribbing. So it's really easy to kind of read and see where you are. And then you also alternate colors so you can, like I know which color is next because I just knit the red on my needle. So I will knit my Spin Cycle color next. And yeah, and there's not too much purling. Just so you know, you don't purl on the way back. So I really like it. I think it's kind of cool seeing how it's playing on the camera, kind of seeing how the colors play, but this is it so far. It's kind of small. but I really enjoy it. Once I get my socks done for the month, this is really going to be the focus. Yeah. This is also living in a Join the Stitches bag. It's a patchwork bag. But yeah, those are all the finished objects and works in progress that I've really been working on. My main bit of focus for the rest of the month is those socks. I have kind of been doing, I used to do this on my phone, but I'm doing it a bit more tactilely, where I'm kind of using Knitty Knatty's plan of planning out your knitting to get things done. Like I said, I did plan on my phone, but I do like seeing it all writ out. So for the last part of June, you can see where I want to do my DK, my Vista Dyeworks socks, and my plan, and then my DK socks, what I want to do. And then at the bottom, I have what's hibernating and kind of what I have upcoming to cast on. So I have some socks for a friend that I need to start once it's July, honestly. And then I have a hat that I'm designing, so I need to write up that pattern and get it tested before it can come out. And then I also really want to start a dotted raise. That's by Stephen West. I have some yarn in my stash that I am planning to do with it. I just feel like that monotonous kind of knitting sounds really lovely. So I know I shouldn't start that until I finish my cowl. So I think that's my plan. So once I finish my cowl, I will start that shawl. I am also planning to go back and pick up my Stratified, which is sitting in this bearded pearl bag. So this is probably going to become my 30 minutes in the morning now that my Birds of a Feather is done. I have shown this before, so I'll just show it really quickly. This is where I'm at with this. I love it so much. I also put it aside because, it's summer. I'm not going to be wearing it for a while. I have finished the first sleeve, so I am currently working on the second sleeve, and then I think I'm going to go back to the body and just lengthen it just a smidge, because this is the cropped length without the ribbing, but I think I want it a bit longer. The yarn is by Roa, by Rosa Pomar of Retrozaria. I absolutely love this yarn. It is a worsted weight woolen spun. Absolutely sheepy, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Love it so much. It's so lightweight. This weighs absolutely nothing. And I have a couple skirts that I think this will go really well with. Also some sweaters that not sweaters. I'm going to wear this sweater with another sweater. I have some dresses that I think I can pair with it. So now that some deadline knitting of like this and some samples are done, I am very excited to come back to this. So as soon as the month is done and those socks are off my needles, I will be coming back to this. But I think I'll start focusing on it in the morning with my coffee. Just like 30 minutes every day. It is just massive and barely fits in this bag anymore. But it is now sitting by my knitting chair with my other knitting projects. So I should get some more work done. Those are all my projects, all the creative content. So moving into kind of what's happened the last couple weeks. I don't think much has actually happened. We've gone to see Lightyear in theaters, which was really nice. We haven't done much else. We had planned on going on a hike, and then it was really hot, so we didn't go. Also, the weekend we were planning to go on a hike, we both desperately just needed like a chill day. So we ended up staying home, just relaxing. Not a whole lot is happening. I will be having some family visit in July, so I'm very excited and looking forward to that. So I just have a lot of work things going on with just things in general. designing a hat pattern and getting some things updated before Fancy Tiger has a anniversary party in July. So there's just a lot of logistics for that. And then there's a yarn crawl in August. So just some fun behind the scenes things with work are happening. So a lot of my brain power has been going to that, and I need to focus a bit more on zoning out, clocking out when I'm not at work and focusing on some of my projects. I also have some sewing plans coming up. I did tailor some overalls that I posted a couple weeks ago on my Instagram. I tailored those in, so I think they're a little more wearable now. And then I just have some plans for some more dresses and overalls that I would like to make, which is exciting. But yeah, that's all the creative content I have. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you liked the video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed but would like to know when I post future videos, feel free to subscribe. It is a free way to support the channel and makes it so other knitters can find us and join our little community. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for clicking, thank you for watching, and thank you for your time. I hope you're putting a little bit of love into every stitch of your making, and I will see you guys again very soon. You could find me other places. Oh, wow, today is gonna be rough. I feel so dirty talking about this. Like, it was harder, so I could just shove it in easier. We are talking about crochet. We have 20 minutes left and 2 projects to show. I hope you're putting a little bit of stitch in every bit of love.